Family mourns shocking loss of daughter. Post-Courier, February 17, 2025. By Miriam Zariga. Every parent's worst nightmare is to lose a beloved child. For a family today, the loss of their oldest daughter, 23-year-old Margret Gamaru Gabriel, in a brutal murder has darkened their life as they mourn her death at their family home. Margret's life was cut short last Saturday morning by armed men who entered the home she shared with her boyfriend. She was dragged out of the safety of her home at the Watermark estate near Baruni by the criminals. She fought back and hung on for dear life. However, the sadistic killers took her to a dark, desolate hill, viciously beat her, raped, mutilated, and killed her in a heinous, bloody way. Her body was left where she died as residents and security guards of the estate searched for her. Other residents and security guards found her, and what they saw would haunt them for the rest of their lives. They covered her and waited for the police investigators to arrive. Prime Minister James Marape has condemned in the strongest terms the brutal rape and murder of the young woman. He described the act as inhumane, barbaric, and utterly unacceptable in our society. "I am deeply shocked and outraged by this despicable crime," Mr. Marape said. "No woman, no child, and no citizen of this country should ever have to endure such horrifying violence. This is not just an attack on one individual, it is an attack on our collective sense of humanity and justice." He assured the nation that the government will spare no effort in ensuring that those responsible for this heinous act are swiftly brought to justice. In a short interview, Margret's parents described her as beautiful, always smiling, helpful with her siblings, and she never missed a moment with her parents. To the family, Margret was always known as Magi Magi, a nickname that was earned as a child. Margret was from a mixed parentage of Moresby and Central and came from a large family. She was the oldest of 6 children. Her grief-stricken dad could not speak while her mom managed to explain what happened that morning about Margret's passing. "On Saturday, February 15th, I was fetching water at our home when a police vehicle arrived at about 9 a.m., she recounted. "I was carrying the youngest, who is less than a year old. The police officers asked for my husband Gabriel, and I said he was at work. The police officers told me that I needed to get ready and go with them." As she tried to organize herself, she instinctively thought of Margret. "I called her phone 3 times, but her phone rang out," the tearful mother said. "In my heart, I knew something was wrong, as Margret never missed my call, and if she did, she always returned the call immediately. I packed a bag and got in the police vehicle. I began to think about the reasons my daughter would be at the police station," she said. "A officer began to speak and quietly advised me of Margret's death, what had happened, and that they were taking me to the morgue. I went into shock and nearly dropped the baby, with a policeman managing to grab the child. I began wailing. I tried to understand what had happened," her mom said. The police officers could only look on in silence as they allowed the grieving mom to cry. Her mom paused and said, "I asked to see Margret when we got to the hospital, but was advised by the doctors that it would be better to remember her as she was when she was alive." Other family members who arrived were told the same thing. Without thinking, the family checked social media and saw the police page and saw what had happened to Margret and the extent of her injuries. Both mom and dad couldn't speak anymore. The family have asked for the country to refrain from making any comments on social media and to allow police investigations to commence. While we understand police are working the case, we understand other cases will come up. We urge the police officers to find the suspects and have them charged before they go before a court magistrate and judge, the family said. "We want justice for Margret and other women who have been murdered. We want justice so the family can move on." The family also confirmed that they have not spoken to Margret's boyfriend, but allowing police space to investigate.